Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cryptocurrent. Just one quick reminder. Cryptocurrent is a cryptocurrency and blockchain education platform that's bridging the gap between the curious newcomers who are just discovering the space and the thought leaders who are shaping its future. All opinions expressed by Richard Carthon, the Cryptocurrent team, and their guests on this show are exclusively their own opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Richard, the team, and their guests as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow as financial advice. This show and any other Cryptocurrent production is exclusively for informational purposes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a very special guest all the way out in Singapore working on a very cool DAO that is very cool and interesting in the sense that for all of you who are interested in real estate and understanding how you potentially can bring that type of investment opportunity into the crypto blockchain space, we'll look no further. CitaDAO has found a way to get that done. So I know I'm excited to learn more about this, and I hope you are as well. I want to thank Joel, one of the community members, to join and speak about this today. Joel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, Richard. Thanks for having us on this show. And I'm super excited to share a little bit more about our project.
Absolutely. Well, before we dive into CitaDAO, first want to learn a little bit more about you. Can you give us some background on yourself?
Cool. Basically, for legal reasons, like to just start off with a short disclaimer. So this is not investment advice, not a solicitation of investment or asking anyone to buy any investment product. Whatever we share here is only purely for educational purpose, to share a little bit more about how our platform works. I'll just go straight into maybe a short introduction about myself.
Yes.
So my name is Joel, and my background is really in the institutional real estate space. Over the past 12 years have been with many platforms such as CBRE, CapitaLand, UBS Investment Bank, and most recently insurance private equity real estate platform. Helping them invest in real estate globally. As for my own crypto experience, it was really back in 2017 and 2018 when I kind of got into the space. At the point in time, as you would have remembered, I think STO was all the hype. And as an institutional landlord, we had many requests to tokenize our properties by those projects. But at the point in time, one of the major issues we had was that we could never get a convincing answer to two questions which bugs us quite a bit. The first one, how we could legitimately enforce our rights to redeem the title deed to underlying real estate with the real estate token. And the second one, how we could get liquidity, secondary market liquidity for the real estate token. And that is kind of the nail in the coffin for many of these requests that we received. We couldn't support them because of that, but it got me and a couple of institutional lawyers in the space together. We started brainstorming on how we could develop a legit structure that will confer the right to redeem the underlying title deed with the real estate token, just like how you could redeem the US dollar with the USDC. And it was back in October 2020, so a little more than a year, that we had a breakthrough moment, and we had a structure that prestigious law firm is willing to underwrite, issue a legal opinion to validate the legitimacy of the structure. We kind of took this to a family office. Family office looked at it. They agreed to inject their portfolio of real estate to support a POC for this project. And that is really how the CitaDAO project began.
Yeah, that is a unique background. So just to recap it, you have been interested in seeing like how do you even bring the real estate into the crypto space. So back in October of 2020, so almost about a year and a half ago, y'all started to move this forward. But the two big challenges that were faced was one, being able to provide legitimacy through getting the title and the contract, basically, where you could have it set up and spread out. And then the second was providing liquidity to that as well. And so those are the two big hurdles. And typically, not being able to get over those two hurdles is what kills a lot of the projects that try to go and accomplish this. So you fast forward to now of the end of February of 2022, y'all have made a lot of progress. Can you kind of tell us a little bit of where you are now and why you made the decision to go the direction of a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, in order to get this entity set up?
Right, sure. Then, so first to start off with, those two problems, they were kind of the nail in the coffin for many projects, and happy to say that we at CitaDAO have the solution for both of this. So that was really what got us off the ground. As to why we decide to approach this from a DAO perspective, from a Web3 perspective, rather than from a C5 perspective, as many other projects have pursued, it is really because of DeFi Summer that helped us solve the liquidity challenges in this space. And really, if you look at what we are building over here, we are actually leveraging DeFi to drive demand to unlock capital efficiency in real estate, and doing it in the typical Web2 context, in the C5 context. We believe that would have kind of killed the ability to unlock that capital efficiency, that liquidity in this space. Our belief here is that today's real estate lacks accessibility, liquidity, and composability. It's a huge market, 280 trillion, all of it globally. But a whole bunch of that money is actually locked. It's not doing anything. It's not earning interest, not being invested, not being used to drive and move the economy forward.
Right. And real quick, I want to re-emphasize that. You said $282 trillion locked in real estate.
280 trillion.
Oh my gosh, it's so much.
That's globally, right? And a whole bunch of it. I mean, if you just assume, let's say you're only able to take a 50% mortgage on all the properties. So that's 140 trillion of dollars that is locked. It's not doing anything at all. And to give you a simple analogy of what I mean by this, let's assume you have $1 million today, right? And you take this $1 million, you head over to your bank, right? And you put this $1 million into a fixed deposit. Now, no matter how low the fixed deposit interest is going to be, your banker is still going to give you some form of interest in return for the $1 million in fixed deposit you put to the bank. Now, assuming you shop along the street, you saw a $1 million property that you like very much, you take $1 million, let's say $1 million in cash, and you go and buy the property, which gives you the title deed. Now that title deed is worth $1 million. Take this title deed, go to the bank, and tell the bank, say, hey, banker, I would like to put this $1 million title deed in the bank, in the fixed deposit account. How much interest will you give me? What do you think the bank would tell you?
Nothing.
They say, no way, Jose, it can't be done.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's what we mean by capital efficiency. The moment you put this $1 million into the real estate, boom, it's gone. Right? You lose access to that $1 million. You know. Whereas if you kept it in the bank, at any point in time, you can still like redeem it. So our plan really is to use DeFi to unlock that capital by improving accessibility, liquidity, and composability. And we believe this will help drive demand for real estate on-chain, increase the capital efficiency of real estate on-chain, and enhance the overall fair value of the real estate universe. In fact, as a team, we believe strongly that in future, there will be two sets of prices for real estate. The price of real estate on-chain and the price of real estate in real life. And we believe that real estate on-chain will always have a higher value than the real estate in real world, because there will be more use cases for it on-chain. unlike the limited use cases we have today, constrained by existing limitations on how we can unlock that capital that we own, that same $1 million that we own in the real estate by everybody else, right? There's the supplier of capital.
Right.
So to give another analogy here, imagine you have an iPhone today, and the iPhone that you have has only 3 use cases. You can only make a phone call, you can send an SMS, or you can only take a photo with the onboard camera, but you can't share the photo with anyone without physically sharing the phone itself. How much do you think this phone is worth? I'll say no more than $100-200, if any at all, right?
Right.
Those phones used to exist 10, 20 years ago. And that was the price range then. But what changed fundamentally for the iPhone is the introduction of the App Store. And what the App Store did, it attracts top talents, top developers from all around the world to come and build apps on the App Store. And each of these apps that comes onto the App Store, it unlocks new utility for the iPhone. Today, with the iPhone, with the apps on the App Store installed on your iPhone, you could literally use the iPhone to watch movie, play games, go on social media, trade, do your banking transfers, and so on and so forth. The number of use cases for your iPhone exploded exponentially because of the App Store.
Right.
And that today, with the iPhone going for more than $1,000, nobody complained, nobody bathed an eyelid. Everybody think there's value in it, simply because the use cases have increased. And that's what we are building over here at CitaDAO for the real estate space. We believe that.
No, I was just gonna unpack that just for a second. So I think those are 2 really good analogies. The first one being, or the one that I really want to unpack just for a second, is the example of the iPhone. What really brought its value is that before, when you wanted to present software to somebody, you had to have a piece of hardware that you would hand as a consumer and then have the software built on top of it in order for them to use it. When the iPhone came out, they basically said, we'll take care of the hardware. Now you can build the software to build utilities and make it more valuable. So now you have these software companies that can come up, build amazing things without them physically having to have any hardware to deal with. And that created scales of economies and marketplaces on top of a platform. So in the world of real estate, to bring it back to where things currently are right now, is when you look at real estate is its own kind of place of value, but it has a lot of liquidity locked up. There's not a lot of things you can build on top of real estate, because once you kind of have that transaction or have it go through, that's it. It's kind of just locked up until the next transaction happens, and it's then passed from one person to another, either for more money, less money, whatever it is, but it's just locked. There's not an ecosystem on which things are operating on top of it. Does that sound about right?
Right, you are then. And the ecosystem exists today. It's called Web3, it's called DeFi. The composability of the project is what drives the sustainability of this. Now, if you think of real estate as the iPhone with the 3 use cases, real estate in the real world as the iPhone with the 3 use cases, and the DeFi universe as the App Store, effectively we are building the API to link that real estate to this App Store, the composability of App Store. In fact, this App Store over here have a whole bunch of other exciting DeFi projects out there waiting to unlock that capital efficiency, that accessibility, that liquidity in real estate. It's just waiting for the link to materialize. And at CitaDAO, we are building that link. And we believe that in future, the value of real estate on chain will increasingly be driven by the use cases for the real estate tokens itself, with the underlying real estate only contributing a fraction of the actual value of the real estate token. We believe that real estate today is a very traditional asset class that is ripe for disruption, and the time for disruption is now. We believe that all assets will ultimately be tokenized in the new world, just like how everything is securitized today. The difference, with tokenization, you no longer have to have intermediaries, pay fat fees to fat cats, along the line that for some reason or another add value simply by the network, their connection, and by allowing you to do things to your own asset that you are not allowed to do because of some Web 2 institutional space. Like they usually have like regulations saying that you can do this, you can't do that. Even though, hey, this is my own asset, like you can't, like your $1 million in your property, that's your $1 million. But why is it that you need to wait for others to tell you how much you can unlock, when you can unlock, where you can unlock?
It gives you the flexibility to do it back. So it's interesting, and what I want to now unpack more about as I look at the CitaDAO and just looking at some of the things on the website. You talk about participating in the IRO. Can you explain what that is and how people would potentially be able to do that?
Yeah. Thanks for bring us back to the IRO. So the IRO basically is our process to introduce real estate on chain, and that's why it really stands for IRO. It is a very unique process, and we believe will be a very rewarding process for the community who likes to help us bring the real estate on chain. Now, our vision here is that in future, landlords will be able to list their real estate in a permissionless manner on the CitaDAO platform. And the community will make the decision as to whether that real estate is priced correctly, is worthy to bring on chain to introduce to the rest of the DeFi community to compose with other DeFi projects. So just maybe I'll walk you through a demonstration of how the IRO will be conducted. Assuming we have a 20 million property, which is the case here, and in this case, the landlord decides to put up a $1 million reward to be shared by all participants who successfully participated in the IRO over the next 10 days. Now, in the traditional world, this $1 million is effectively the commission you pay to a third-party agent with no vested interest in the real estate that they're promoting. But in this case, you're actually rewarding those who put their money where their mouth is, those who actually committed into the IRO. And those people the participants who contributed to this IRO, who committed to this IRO initially, they will be rewarded based on when they choose to participate in the IRO and how many people choose to participate in the IRO at the same point in time. It's very similar to how you farm for yield. It's a concept that is very well understood within the Web3 space. And that concept, we believe, is very exciting for all the non-coiners out there, for all the Web2 users out there. We want to introduce to them. So we introduce to them via this concept called the IRO, which is literally a spin on yield farming. The unique thing about this is that unlike other cases where other yield farms where you typically commit a stable coin or you commit a digital asset like Bitcoin, Ethereum for governance token, in this case, you actually commit a stable coin to earn more stable coins because this $1 million will actually get paid out in USDC, and you can collect it right after the IRO is over. Now, how do the participants share in this $1 million? In this case, because there's 10 days, we will assume an equal distribution of this $1 million over the 10 days and set up a $100,000 reward pool for each day for the participants to share in this reward pool on a pro rata basis determined by their commitment to the IRO commitment pool for the day. So let's assume a case where we have 3 participants. We have Alice, who committed $10,000 on day 1, Bob committed $990,000 on day 3, and Carol committed $19 million on day 5, which closes the IRO successfully. Because Alice, she came in early, she came in on day 1, right on the dot, and she participated in all the 10 pools. the $10,000 that she put in, and the first two pools were exclusively hers, right? Her $10,000 will give her 100% of the first pool, 100% of the second pool. So that means that she gets $200,000 in all before Bob's come in with $990,000 and take 99% of the pool. And Carol come in and take 95% of the pool. So the APY obviously from this is going to go through the roof, right? And that's the upside. Now, as the IRO completes, there are two potential outcomes. The first outcome is that let's go down the conservative route. And the first outcome is the IRO is not successful. If it's not successful, what happens to Alice, Bob, and Carol? Whatever that they committed into the IRO in the first place, they will go back to the IRO smart contract and they will reclaim their commitment, which means that Alice will go back and take back her 10,000. Bob will go to the smart contract and claim back his 990,000 USDC, and Carol will take back her 19 million USDC. And everybody walks away. The landlord walks away and all the participants walk away. No transaction happened. But if the IRO is successful, now these participants will be connected with the landlord for them to transact themselves effectively. This $10,000 will be converted into 10,000 real estate token minted by the landlord and distributed to the participant, Alice. And in return for her $10,000 that she converted into real estate tokens, she will be able to also, on top of that, the real estate token she received, she will also be able to go ahead and claim 202,000 in USDC reward that she earned from being the first one and the only one in the pool for the first 2 days.
Very interesting. Okay, so by locking in liquidity, you're rewarding people for being first and early, but you're also giving a way for investors who come into this that in the event that the IRO that they participate is unsuccessful, they at least get their initial investment out. But in the event that is successful, they get to get their initial investment plus whatever is compounded upon. So has the IRO basically found a way to completely de-risk the downside? Like there's no way like you invest into this and you walk away with not getting at least your initial investment out. Did I understand that right, or am I missing something?
Okay, so to begin with, right, at CitaDAO, we don't have investors, nor do we encourage investments. We only have contributors, and we only have community participants who commit their capital to the IO. At all point in time, there's no expectation of profit in any way, and because of that, you should not have any expectation of profit when participating in the IRO. However, having said that, the mechanism is designed such that it allows participants to indicate their interest in the property to the landlord, and if there's sufficient commitment raised from the interest indicated, they will interact directly with the landlord, and the real estate token will be minted by the landlord, and they can go ahead and create their own mini DAO in a way. Now, on the flip side, obviously, because you're just indicating your commitment here. So at any point in time, if let's say insufficient commitment is raised, all you have to do is just withdraw your commitment because there's not enough commitment to ensure a successful IR in the first place. You just take your money back and you walk away. There's no transaction done at all.
Got it. Okay. No, but thank you for breaking that down. So for everyone that's listening to this, they're really involved in the real estate or their real estate market, are really interested in learning more about this opportunity. And they're like, okay, they want to find a way to participate because, again, they're not investors. They are part of the community and they are choosing to contribute if they so choose. What would that process look like? How would somebody who's listening to this right now be able to take next steps to be able to participate in the CitaDAO?
Yeah. So to participate in CitaDAO, you just have to. There are two There are actually two official channels that we are engaging our community with. The first one is our Discord channel, and the second one is our Twitter channel. And to get access to both of them, you just have to visit our website at CitaDAO.io. So that's CitaDAO.io, and you should be able to join our community right there. To join our Discord channel, that's where we are most active. And introduce yourself and let us know how you want to help, how you think you could help, and we'll put you right where we think there's most value for you, as well as for the project. So yeah, it's CitaDAO.io, and if you join and mention that you are actually referred to by cryptocurrency, so just let us know that cryptocurrency referred you to. We will also give you free CitaDAO tokens, sort of a airdrop that you can claim very shortly in the next month or so.
Excellent. Well, we definitely appreciate that. And everyone listening, make sure you go check that out and use the referral, because who doesn't like some free tokens headed their way? But Joel, you've definitely given us a lot of really good knowledge. Always like to wrap up with two fun questions. The first of which is, with all the information you've been able to gather with being in this space for the last several years, as you were building and figuring out CitaDAO, if you could go and impart 1 to 2 pieces of wisdom to yourself when you first got started, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, I guess probably the first one is to be more patient. Things do not always happen the way you want it to take place. There's a lot of frustration along the way, but likewise, the world operates in amazing ways. And if you've seen how the liquidity piece was unlocked by DeFi Summer, which was totally unexpected, but boom, Web3 took off in a huge way in 2021. Sometimes good things just takes a little bit more time to come, but when it materializes, you have the way the world unlocks the mysteries and the challenges ahead for you. There's always a way forward as long as you're persistent. So keep staying persistent. Keep believing in yourself, in your dream, in your project, and the rest of the pieces will take care of itself.
2 great lessons. Be patient. Make sure you be persistent. Some things just take time. So appreciate that, Joel. But again, what is a final thought that you want to leave with everyone listening here today?
Well, first of all, I'd like to appreciate all of you for listening to us, and really appreciate Richard here for giving us your time to share a little bit more about CitaDAO project. We really believe that Web3, as it is, will be able to change the world that we know of today. It will be able to disrupt so many things in this world just by improving the efficiency whereby peer-to-peer transaction works. And we hope that all of you out there will learn more about Web3 space, will grow together with DAO communities like ours. I mean, there are other DAOs out there too, but join any one of this, get your feet wet, start learning about it, and you are going to be so excited by it, like I did, that you'll want to give up your 9 to 5 just to do this full time, just like I did.
For sure. Well, we definitely appreciate that. Web3 is the future. I agree with you on that. Keep educating yourself, everyone, on this. Keep finding unique ways to get involved. As you can see, there's all kinds of directions you can go in the world of Web3. Find out what your passion is, and then find out how you can bring it to this next landscape, which is Web3. So Joel, again, thank you so much for spending time. I know that you've let us know different ways that people can connect, which is through CitaDAO.io, where they can connect with you on Twitter and Discord. Are there any other ways that they potentially can connect with you?
We stick to the primary mode of communication because there are many other, I'm pretty sure you heard of scams out there. So just introduce yourself and chat on the main channel. and we'll be more than happy to interact with you there. None of the CitaDAO community managers or contributors DM. We keep everything transparent, just like how DAO should be. So always on the main channels, and you will get there's no questions out of bound. There's no conversation topic out of bound. We are all very transparent. So come on in and start asking away.
Perfect. Well, sounds good for everyone listening. If that sounds great, make sure you go check them out at CitaDAO. And again, Joel, thank you so much for spending time with us. And everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.